Work-life balance is a total lie. That's a bit controversial, but I'm here with my good friend, Chad Willardson. This is the book launch. Chad, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Today's a big day, so I'm excited.
It is, man. Listen, you came out pulling, not pulling punches. The book is called Fully Invested, but why do you go right away with the subtitle and kind of shock the world?
I just feel like work-life balance is something we all talk about, and I hear about it all the time, and it just feels super fake. It feels unattainable. It's kind of like that mirage that we just never reach.
Yep.
And we just feel this guilt because we're not balanced. And so as a leader, I just want to show people that that's a false reality anyways. So stop chasing work-life balance.
Oh, that's so good. It can be this, I heard that a walk is a controlled fall. In other words, you can't make progress in life if you're perfectly balanced. You got to get out of balance to make progress. What do you think, man? People look at your life and you're like flying here, you're flying there. We're going to show your website in a moment, but are you a balanced man?
Not at all. No, I'm fully invested though. Whatever I'm in, I'm all in, and I'm in one thing at a time. So I believe that there's only one way to live, and that's a fully invested life, whether it's in your business or it might be a period where you're investing in your health or your finances or your relationships or your children. But to have this compartmentalized pretend fantasy of perfect balance, you're setting yourself up for a lot of failure. And I think that's the challenge that we run into is we feel like business is over here and family is over here, and there's this split compartmentalized pie, and it's just not real. Business and family are intertwined. Everything we do is part of who we are.
Well, it's funny because, when I do my taxes, the government wants you to put everything in buckets, right? Like, hey, this is personal, this is business, but I see you and you're like blending it. That's the way I roll. I mean, do you think even coming down to taxes, like you're all in when you're traveling to some island, but you might be thinking about work, but talk to us a little bit about it.
It's it's always a business expense for sure. We're always doing business wherever we go.
Right.
But you have to have an integrated life. Like, I think alignment is possible. Integration is possible. Balance is not really possible. It's too fantasy land. It might look good on paper, but it really is a guilt trap. People are working and they feel guilty for not being with the family, being at home. People are at home and they're thinking about opportunities they're missing out on, or their to-do list that's huge and they're not getting anything done. And it's this pull. So it's not the right way to approach business or family.
Oh, so basically the book will free you from guilt, maybe first of all, for some people.
100%.
And, I got to share, I met you in fall 2018. And I think right out of the gate, I said to myself, this guy's going places.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah. And sure enough, we're part of Strategic Coach. That's how we met. And we'll give a shout out to them, tag them, share this all over Strategic Coach networks. But I mean, give us even, we'll talk about you and your wife getting married when you had zero money, but even just give us the 2018 to 2025 little jaunt here.
Oh, just a big mindset shift in what was possible. I was very much fully invested in my family and fully invested in my business, but my goals were small. I didn't think big enough. And so I got around enough people to where I realized, you know what, I get one chance and I need to be thinking a lot bigger. And so that abundance mindset really carried me to then and hopefully inspire lots of people that I'm working with as clients, as elevated members, as just people who work with me or for me, and just raise our standards and what we're aiming for. So things have changed a lot in the last 7 years for sure.
Excellent. You also have this community. Is it literally called Fully Invested? What is it called?
Elevated. Yeah, it's Elevated. Yeah, Elevated is a community, and our mantra is being fully invested. So Elevated is a community where people who want to not just win it big in business, but they also want to win big in their family and their home life, their personal life. So it's a mastermind that really attracts leaders who want more than money. And it's just a great group of people. Extreme accountability. We're an action group. We are not a philosophy group. So the extreme accountability is something that everyone mentions as a real game changer for them.
Well, I know several members and they can't stop talking about it, but let's show a few pictures here. I think you have some pictures of some of these events. Why do
Yeah.
you create experiences? Because as I think about Chad Willardson, I do think about, you know, him booking all over and creating memories. How important is that part of it?
To me, life is about experiences. I'm not interested in necessarily buying fancy watches or fancy cars. And if that's your thing, that's fine. But to me, it's about experiences. That's where the growth is. That's where the memories come from. That's where the connections happen. So getting out there and living life, seeing the world, making connections. And really what I've learned over the last 10 years is that I'm not attracted to necessarily a type of person or career or industry person, but more a mindset. And I love being around abundant thinkers who are aiming for big goals, who actually do care about their family. Many of them have a faith background, a family background, something that they're interested in beyond business. You know, if I meet someone and all they talk about is money and business, days and days and days on end, that's not really my people. My people have life outside of work. So no matter where they are in the world, those are the kind of people I want to spend time with.
I think when you're clear, you attract the right people, you repel the wrong ones. I remember you telling the story about somebody saying, you know, I wanted to work with you, but you're always out with your family, you're always traveling. And you, tell us how you answered. And
I got an email that said, I was about to hire you. This is for Pacific Capital, my wealth management business. I was about to hire you. And then I realized on social media, you're just always on vacation, traveling and doing stuff with your family. And I realized that if I hired you, then I would just be paying for your vacations. And I said, you know, respectfully, if you're a business owner, if you have clients, then I guess if you go on a vacation, yes, technically your clients do pay for your vacations as well. But, you know, I'm not interested in people who were offended by me experiencing life with my family. Most potential clients who come to us are attracted because of that. They see that and say, I want that. I want to have that freedom. I want to be able to spend time with my wife and family. And it's something that like pulls them in. So if I repel the wrong fit clients because I'm out there living life, then that's fine with me.
Wow. So this is your sixth book, fifth book?
Sixth book.
Wow, man, 6 books. Yep. So I know every other book that you've written has been amazing, Smart, Not Spoiled. And you know, I won't ask you to name because I've written a bunch of books. I can't remember them all, but talk to us about why this one, like what are people going to get when they buy this book?
Yeah, this book, and I've got a copy right here. Very excited. This book is really going to free you up to understand how to be more fully invested in your business and your home life. So it says right here, 7 strategies to win big in business and at home. And I have specific filters and frameworks in the book, lots of useful tools that I've used and I've had clients and members of Elevated use. You can use these things to really shift and accelerate what you're doing in your family and your business. So the principles that apply to both winning in business and in your family. I mean, I'm just really excited about this one because I poured my heart into it. It's probably it's the most personal book I've written. It's got the most pictures and behind the scenes stuff. And I interviewed a lot of great people for this book as well.
Absolutely. So somebody who is not the right reader, they're the person who, like you said, is, you know, we won't name names, but there's people out there, hustle culture. People who are basically like, look, unless you're working 16, 18 hours a day, you stink.
You don't really want it.
Yeah. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. Someone who only cares about business and money and has no interest in a personal life or a family. You know, that's the thing that really prompted this book is I've been around a lot of successful people and many of them have very broken personal lives. And it seemed like such a pattern that something needed to be said. And I felt like there's got to be a way for people to succeed in business and at home at the same time. You don't have to destroy your family relationships to be successful at work. And I feel like for some reason that myth has been spread that, hey man, that's just part of the grind. Like you can't have a family at all. You got to just go for 10, 15 years and just all business all the time, focus on that money. And then eventually you'll have time to start a family in the future. And I just don't believe that. So I rejected that. I started young and broke, and we got married at 22 and 20 in college. And so I'd love to be the person to prove that theory wrong and say that you can win big in both at the same time.
So good. I follow you online. I think a lot of people should. You're obviously very active on LinkedIn, Instagram, and I feel like you do share a lot of your life. So just some quick highlights. Your wife just competed in a big competition. Yep. You got one daughter playing amazing basketball. You just took your daughter to some father, I see your stuff, man. And your son.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a cost to that. Why don't you we talked about the benefit. What's the cost of time?
Yeah, the cost is sacrificing a lot of personal waste. That's really the cost. I think we all pretend that we're busy, but we're not that busy. We waste a lot of time. We watch shows, we get into movies, we look at the news, we scroll social media, and some of that is useful, but a lot of it is probably not. And so what could we do? Like, let's say we saved, I don't know, a few hours a day. I mean, what does 1,000 hours look like in a year? What could you accomplish in your business and your family life with 1,000 extra hours of intentional focus? I think you could do a lot. And so if you want to have a fully invested life and win big at both, it's not easy, but it's possible. And that's the message I'm sharing, is that you've got to sacrifice some waste and some personal like, downtime that you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's totally worth it. I mean, I'm doing stuff with the family and business all the time. I'm flying around and doing stuff for my kids' sports or a business conference, and I'm going to make it to both, not one or the other.
I've walked with you through a lot, meaning, this whole, I think I'm going to get a jet, your wife shares the story. You were nervous at first getting it, but then she said to you, what?
I was nervous to tell her that I did it.
Yeah.
And then when I told her, I was bracing myself for a big reaction. And she said, my first plane, it would only go about 4.5 hours nonstop. So it couldn't make it to Hawaii. And her first question was, does it go to Hawaii? And I said, no. And she goes, well, that was dumb. So she goes, why would you buy a plane that doesn't get you all the way to Hawaii? You love Hawaii so much. So within a year, I worked hard enough and I upgraded. So I'm proud to say that we fly to Hawaii a lot now.
That is cool. So listen, man, even that one statement's going to get a lot of hate maybe, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. I do read the stories about you getting married at 20 and 22 and not having any money. So let's talk about that, because I think there's going to be some people that watch this that say, I'm going to buy 100 books, but I'm also going to join his Elevate because I want access to Chad. But then there's other people that are like, this guy, I can't even relate.
Yeah.
In your book, do you break it down into like the first step?
Yeah, I start early about how to make those decisions early on in your family and career life. Now, some people are past that stage of life, but I made that decision early. There was one opportunity to work at Goldman Sachs as an investment banker associate. And when I looked at that job description, it really was 60 to 80 hours a week for 5 to 7 years to just put my time in. And as we consider that as a young newlywed couple, like, I just didn't see the benefit. It didn't matter how much there was a greater financial potential there.
Right.
It was too much in one direction for 7 years, 5 to 7 years, that I just didn't want to give that up. So I chose a path where, there was very low salary. I wasn't earning much. And then it switched to commissions very early on, 18 months, if I even made it past the quotas and stuff. So I chose to bet on myself and believe that if I prioritized family and business at the same time, that I could somehow make it work. And eventually it did work. It wasn't easy, but it was worth the sacrifice and the struggle in the beginning to at least have that relationship building time as a young married couple.
I think there's people watching this that they're going to say, Chad's risky, and whether it was saying no to Goldman Sachs, whether it was becoming, I believe, a fiduciary, or
an
whatever.
entrepreneur. Yep.
Yeah.
Fiduciary. Yep.
Yeah. There's been some risk that you've taken.
For sure.
But let's take the opposite of the person who says, no, I'm going to bet all on Goldman Sachs. Like, talk to them about how that's a risk.
Yeah, I think it's a risk to not invest in what matters most. That's risky, is to skip what matters most. Like, I believe you take family relationships beyond the grave, and we're all here for a purpose, and there's a God, and we are all children of him. And I believe because of that I make decisions based on a longer term perspective, and I'm not making decisions on a flashy title business card or how much money I make. And because of that, I feel like things have turned out better. Wow. If I would have taken a job that was 60 to 80 hours a week and delayed having a family, like, so much of my life would be different. So I may not seem relatable today to some people who are maybe younger, but I was there. We were living in a basement apartment. I was taking the public bus to work, making $5.25 an hour. And I was just trying to figure it out. And I was not making much money. I was struggling. I was a college student working, and I was in charge of all the bills. Like, when we got married young, both of our parents said, good luck. If you guys are old enough to get married, you don't need any support. So, which was great. But you can invest so much into business, career, money, and it's a real lonely place if you don't have anything beyond that.
Yeah. Another thing I like about Chad about you is that you're not afraid to talk about struggles too. Like, you talk about, right hires, wrong hires. You talk about, I remember a story, like wasn't there some kind of like shooting or something at one of your daughter's amazing
basketball games?
Basketball games. Like, so you're not afraid to talk about, like, or your mom's, sickness. Like, these are real things. So do you talk about that in the book? Like, is it all just a silver lining, or are you sharing like?
No, it's real life. I mean, in fact, I have pictures of my mom, and I talk about that a little bit. My mom suffers from a rare form of Parkinson's disease, and we're super close, but we talk about it's real life. Like, being fully invested doesn't mean life is easy, but it does mean your priorities are squared up. So it does mean that you can understand what matters most and filter based on what matters most. So see, that says stop chasing work-life balance. Like, just stop. It doesn't work. Figure out what you want to fully invest in and go all in. So to me, having that all in mindset and learning how to say no to things that don't matter, that has freed me up from a lot of mistakes over the years. And not that I haven't made any, but I've saved myself a lot of trouble by filtering out what I don't need to pay attention to.
Yeah. And if I look here, it's, stress-free money, smart, not spoiled, beyond the money, fit for wealth, wealth wired differently. Give us, just as we land the plane here, give us just 60 seconds on each one, just in case people are like, sure. I'm buying them all.
Stress-free money basically talks about how to overcome the 7 most common obstacles to find financial freedom. Okay. Stress is the number one thing when it comes to money. Everyone's stressed about it. You could have $100 million or $100. You're going to have some kind of stress. And so I talk about some of the myths and obstacles to overcome and how to do that. Smart Not Spoiled, book number 2. Up to this point, that's been the best seller because people are so concerned about teaching their kids how to be smart with money. Talks about how to financially prepare young people. If you're 12 years old or older, you can read it yourself. It's really for parents, but kids have read it and enjoyed it as well. Gives a lot of specifics on how you can teach money principles to kids. Beyond the Money is for people who already have money. It's beyond the money. Like, once you have sold a business, once you have reached a financial success milestone, what do you do now? How do you climb the next mountain with a different approach because you've already climbed one mountain before, right? So that's for people who've already been successful and have lots of money already, mostly entrepreneurs. Fit for Wealth, really, how do you achieve elite health and abundant wealth with the same principles and strategies? That's really ties together fitness and wealth.
Huge. Yeah.
I have a lot of clients who already have enough financial resources to be comfortable, and they seem to all be focused on their health now. So that's a great book for that purpose. And then Wealth Wired Differently shares how to overcome the language barrier between financial advisors and entrepreneurs.
Whoa.
And I teach because entrepreneurs are wired differently in their brains, then their wealth advice should also be wired differently. So don't take advice from non-entrepreneurs about business and money stuff. That's what that one's about.
Man, these are edgy. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So as we kind of end here, Chad, what's the last thing you want to tell people about Fully Invested? So, just kind of think of this as like the final words for anybody watching.
Yeah, the stress you feel and the tug between family commitments and business commitments is common. Like, it's very normal. We all feel that. And it's difficult. It's not easy to be successful in both. Yet it's possible. It's very possible. And I have a lot of people in my life that I look up to that model that success. And that's what I strive to do. And by applying these filters and frameworks that I share in the book, you're going to have the tools to really be more successful in business and more successful at home at the same time.
That's so good. Folks, Fully Invested, get the book. Check out the other 5 as well. It's literally going to help you save so much time, money, stress, heartache. Chad, it's great to be your publisher. It's great to be your friend as well.
Appreciate it.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Thanks.